Hello, everybody. Welcome to Take the Black Live, the one and only show on the internet where myself, Dan Selcke, and Mia Johnson of darksideoftheforce.net, miawinteriscoming.com.net, switzer.com.net talk about all things fantasy, sci-fi, TV, movies, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, superheroes, etc. This is our special Thanksgiving edition. I'm coming to you not live from an undisclosed Thanksgiving location. And Mia, I believe you are at home.
I am at home. I'll be heading 20 minutes away to my parents' house starting tomorrow. So finishing up my last couple hours of work at home.
Very nice. And Mia, is there anything this season in terms of television or movies that you're especially thankful for?
Oh, interesting. Yes, I think I owe my life to The Mandalorian. Both The Mandalorian and the series. Easy there.
Yeah, just so you know at home, I am at a different setup. Like, I have piled my computer way too high and my microphone on little, like, if I like pull out and show you the little kind of leaning tower of Pisa setup I have made here, so this comes together. Here's a lamp. You would be afraid for me, but it just, makes this episode have more of an edge.
It's working. You're a hard worker and you make sure you get what you need done. But yeah, that's what I'm thankful for. What about you?
The Mandalorian, yeah, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for, all the streaming services that I currently have at my fingertips to get me through the dark hours of the soul.
Oh, yeah.
As we run out the clock in this whole pandemic situation. Definitely been very useful.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at a place right now where we just kind of can relax and just kind of maybe watch some movies and just let our hair down a bit, so to speak.
That's
so
nice, yeah.
I'm thankful for family and togetherness, and also we get a turkey roast we're gonna make, so looking forward to that.
Ooh, yeah. I make the macaroni dish every year, and I learned my lesson last year. I think it had to be like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We're at the grocery store. There was none of the good, like, box macaroni. I don't even know how I ended up getting a box of macaroni, but last week I learned my lesson. I got my macaroni box last Thursday, and still there were only 3 left. So I was like, should I hoard one more for Christmas? And I was like, no, I'll be kind to my neighbor. And, there's probably some poor fellow out there just like me who's stocking up on macaroni early. But yeah, I'm going to be cooking. I wish I could, mail out some samples to everyone out there, but just take my word that it's pretty good.
You're a generous-hearted person. Let me ask you, were you thankful for the conclusion of Supernatural, the 15-year season-running demon-hunting monster explosion show that you watched the series finale of? Although you didn't watch the most of the season, right? Or am I wrong?
No, this was like me watching it for the first time in years. Yeah.
Do you want to go back?
Huh? Oh, no, that's okay. That is okay.
Oh, no, I asked what made you want to go back?
Oh, what made me go back? I asked you if you thought I wanted to go back. I was like, no. What made me come back? I was honestly just curious to find out how it all ended.
Sure.
One of my best friends was kind of talking about it in the chat, and she was expressing her disappointment, and I saw other people were kind of like, just the episode kind of flatlined. So I was like, come on, guys, I got to see this for myself. So just like out of the blue, I was like painting my nails. I was like, I need something on in the background.
Sure,
so
happens.
That's where I was at with this episode. And yeah, I can see why everyone was disappointed. But I made a tweet, and I'll wrap up. I was like, this show has been on for 15, seasons, 15 years or so. Like, it was like, what more could you want from us? Just let us, let it end already. So I'm not disappointed because there's been so much that happened already that I'm like, well, I guess, it is.
Also,
what it
yeah,
is.
I mean, you've been out of the loop for a while. I'm not sure you were like invested in what had happened immediately before. I gotta tell you, like, our reviewer, Monique Jacobs, she rhapsodized about it. Like, she was in full tears. She was really into it. Wrote an excellent review on WiC Net if anyone wants to go check it out. Just talking about how she thought it felt like from a review, the ending that the series needed. A smaller thing focused on the 2 brothers. As I gather, the last couple episodes were about like wrapping up the big world-ending plot. So
yeah.
but I'm taking it that what about it did you find disappointing?
Well, yeah, I think if that's the case, like I said, because I'm, I can't call myself the expert because I haven't watched this season. Mm-hmm. But yeah, from what I've heard, there was some things wrapped up, especially like we talked about earlier with Castiel and those sort of things. Mm-hmm. So when it came to this episode, and I think I can reveal some spoilers. I don't think at this point. I think
so, yeah. So much of spoilers incoming.
Yeah. So in this episode, they start out living a normal life. It's like things are easy for them. They're finally, happy. And then like a normal mystery happens, just like a normal old time. They're going to hunt this thing down. And in the middle of that fight, that's when Dean dies. And it's like, oh no, he's dying again. So they really
I guess that makes sense.
They really tried to draw this one out now, like, oh, this is it. This is the big one. I'm coming, I see the light. And, they had these heartfelt speeches and stuff. And I was kind of feeling that. But for the most part, I'm like, this has happened so many times that it's hard for me to take it serious. And even this episode, we had some points where it's like Dean dies and then Sam grows up. He gets older. He wears a old man's wig, and on his deathbed his son is like, it's okay, you can let go now. So it's the like
same thing he said to his brother when he died. Monique did not like the wig, I'll say that.
The wig was a little funny. So I can tell it was not like the most serious of series finales, but it's still, I'll give it, they tried to put some of that heart in there. It was just kind of like, to me, it just was like, okay, this is over. I was like, all right, good job.
I feel like it's like what to you is an example of a really great series finale? Do you have any? It's like I feel like they are very hard to pull off. I mean, Supernatural, apparently here we have some split decisions. Yeah. There are things like Game of Thrones and Dexter, people like loathe the series finales. Are there examples of like great ones?
I don't know if I've made it yet.
Lost is one that kind of also got a lot of controversy around it.
Yeah.
Like, Sopranos back in the day had a lot of controversy around it.
Yeah. I would say I can't recall an example right off the bat just because I don't know if I've watched a series where they've reached their completion or have gotten to that point. So yeah.
I think that The Last Airbender had a pretty good one, as I recall. I think that one is pretty universally praised. The Avatar: The Last Airbender series finale.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard some
good things
about that one.
The Breaking Bad one is pretty well regarded, but not like amazingly. So yeah, I think it's hard to have like a really universally beloved series finale. Yeah. It's a hard trick to pull off. But if you can do it, let me know.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I hated it. I just think it felt like a normal episode. And so for that, I was content. And I was like, all right, I'll accept it.
All right. A split decision there. How about moving on to other TV goings on? A show that's a long time away from its series finale, maybe. The Mandalorian, probably. I'm sure they're like years and years by their plan. If they're going off again on this. Have like seasons and shows ahead of them. The Siege. Fourth episode, halfway through the season. What do you think of the newest Mandalorian outing?
Yeah, it heated up again. And this one was directed by Carl Weathers, who plays Grief Kargas.
It was.
I think, he did an excellent...
we blame him for Mr.
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, he's technically in front of the camera, so whoever was the DP on that project, I think that's more of their fault and not him, because he wouldn't have seen it, So yeah, sorry that guy came in the shot, and maybe they can digitally edit him out or something like that. But aside from that,
they have. I mean, like, he's famous. He has like action figures already.
Yeah,
he has like lots of fan art. People are going to see him for Halloween or whatever if they hadn't already passed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite funny. And I didn't notice it, So I think the more casual viewers, if the internet hadn't existed, this guy would have been, could have been Invisible Man for all we knew.
That's the great thing about, the great and the bad thing about the internet, when like little things, like that kind of thing has been happening for literally, at this point, probably 100 years, as long as films are going on. Like, there's a guy in jeans and t-shirt in the background of Indiana Jones and the last or the first one. Raiders of the Lost Ark. God, I almost forgot. There's like folk in Star Wars and everything. It's always happened, but now because the internet, when something like that happens, it gets blown up and you will see it. Yeah. And it can be an event.
Yeah, but I think the good part is that people still take it lightheartedly. No one is like sending death threats or anything. Like, you messed up the shot. Yeah.
Until Game of Thrones is a coffee cup and everybody gets crazy.
Okay, well, maybe, yeah. Maybe that's different. But yeah, this episode was pretty fun. And this one also, it started out almost like a little filler, but then, towards the end, it really got quite interesting with some of the reveals. I feel like we have to go into spoiler territory here, too, because they really dug into it.
Spoiler on this podcast / chat show. I think it makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
If you want to know Mandalorian spoilers, please put your fingers in your ears now.
Just say la 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 la.
What most spoke to you?
So when they were, infiltrating this old Imperial ship, right? Mm-hmm. And they just think it's a base, they got to take it out, it's whatever. And then they see this message from the Dr. Pershing. He's the guy from last season with the glasses. And he's like, oh, Moff Gideon, there's something where we've run out of our test subjects. And we need someone with a high enough M count, throwing in a little midi-chlorian action there. It returns.
Ooh, but they didn't say it out loud because they knew they would have gotten some blowback.
They dare not speak it, which must not be named. And yeah, basically it was setting up the whole idea that they were using the child, Baby Yoda. They needed his blood. And somehow it looks like they're doing like some cloning experiments or something in the background. So we're like, ooh, what could that be? So I really liked that. I was like, whoa, okay. Because, we all this time we've been trying to figure out what is up with Baby Yoda and why did they need him? And they were like, okay, this is kind of why.
Yeah, I enjoy that part. That's pretty cool. It gives like a nice shape to the overall villainous plot, and also being dastardly, right? I mean, we have to keep Baby Yoda safe, or else they'll steal his blood and use it to make, I'm guessing, like a platoon of Force-powered clone soldiers, which we do not want to happen. Nobody wants that to happen, which is good. It means we can root people. I thought it kind of came by pretty quick, like that reveal. Like, it was kind of like tucked in there, It wasn't like... Mainly the episode, like the part that I remember most is just the brutal murder of like dozens of stormtroopers. Like, they were getting smashed against walls. They were getting shot point blank range with giant cannons. Like, they were getting run over with stuff. Fall into lava pits. They were getting shot by like the caseload in the hallways. I mean, the great tradition of stormtroopers can't do anything and miss every time and can never actually hurt anything was in evidence very much here, which I guess shows why they would want some force-sensitive super troopers, because the guys they got are not cutting it.
No, that's absolutely correct. Some people were wondering, though, they were like, oh, well, are they, going to clone Emperor Snoke or Supreme Leader Snoke from, the sequel trilogies, or... Some were even wondering, like, is this how Emperor Palpatine was cloned? So it could possibly be that. But yeah, whatever Moff Gideon was, that, like, room he was standing in line with all those troopers along the wall. And, they're in all black.
Very misty, that room.
Yeah. It was like, what's going on? Who are these people? And I kept pausing it to try to get a good angle and see what those things were. But I was like, no, I don't know what those things are. And I'm afraid to find out.
I mean, yeah, I think there might be some kind of dark trooper, something from the mythology, but I'm not really familiar with it. Yeah, I liked it, and it's good that they're doing the mythology. Honestly, the bulk of the episode, like the whole kind of canyon chase sequence, I thought was like really beautifully done, but I didn't really get why we were seeing it. Like I didn't really. I guess I didn't really care about either of those characters that much.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure why you can't just cut to them being safe, why we have to kind of... But I did like seeing these stormtroopers get brutally dispatched in 1,100 different ways. That was the highlight for me.
Your priorities. Yeah, I like the canyon scene. They always kind of have thrown that in really since, that Death Star moment of Luke, going through those little places. So I've always kind of liked those.
Canyons, don't they? Yeah.
And... Yeah, I didn't really too much have a problem with that. I really love Baby Yoda in class,
That was great.
Trying to steal the kids' cookies.
The Force, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, have there been many instances of like people using the Force to do frivolous, stupid things in Star Wars like that? Because there should be more.
Yeah, not really in the movies. Maybe in Clone Wars or Rebels, some of that stuff. But yeah, this is kind of the first time you just get to see, I'm going to use the Force to steal some cookies. Why not?
I mean, yeah, like people wouldn't do that. I think it's a very dark side thing to do, frankly. Ooh. Stealing cookies with the Force. What an abuse of power.
Yeah, Baby Yoda is still on the naughty list after episode 2.
He's still killing it, though. I mean, like, his arms in the air when they're doing like, 4Gs was adorable. And puking up things. And, of course, Disney is already going full tilt on, like, the merchandising afterwards. Like, it's amazing how, like, in the first season, you couldn't come across any merch because they wanted to keep everything secret. And now it's the day after, the cookies are available. $50 for blue cookies. Yeah.
I wonder if Baby Yoda at some point is going to become like the Minions, where it was cute the first time, and after the 1,000th time, it's like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely a concern. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
In fact, they've kind of eased off him quite a bit in this new season a bit. I mean, he hasn't really been at the center of any of like the plot so far. He always like finds like, you take him, you watch him, you're going to stay here. And then I'm going to do my thing, which maybe that's for the good because he's not going to get overexposed, at least on the show itself.
Exactly. So yeah, next week should be pretty interesting. Dave Filoni is directing. We think Ahsoka Tano might show up, played by Rosario Dawson. So I think everyone is really like most excited for episode 5, and I am too.
Yeah, I'm entertained. I'm not gripped as I was during the first season because I think things have been kind of on a more even keel. Like there hasn't really been anything very surprising, but the formula is still working for me.
Yeah,
so go get it. The first episode is still the one to beat for me.
Ooh, interesting. I think I'm still surprised by episode 3. I think I was surprised by that one, or maybe again I was just happy to see it like wasn't a filler episode. So that's still where I'm at right now.
Very well. All right. Beyond that, are you watching anything else on television that you want to talk about before we move on to other topics?
No, let's keep going.
Okay. I want to touch on the news that HBO has officially ordered a television series, a whole season of TV. So it's going right to series. I'm not sure they made a pilot or not, of The Last of Us, the popular Sony Naughty Dog video game zombie series about a man and a girl trekking through a post-apocalyptic United States on their way to safety, perchance. We'll see. I don't think you've played the games, right?
I haven't played it, but I've seen all of it, watched through it.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah, I mean, good games, controversial games in some cases. The second one made a big stir online.
Yeah.
But I would say pretty ready-made for a TV show because, at its heart, it's like a couple of people trying to make their way in a desolate landscape without, it's not really epic in the traditional sense of like a big epic. It's not like a Star Wars. It's not a Game of Thrones. It's not even a Walking Dead. Like the cast is smaller than that. And it's very focused and it's very character driven. And it's kind of subtle in a way that I think could work for television and work for HBO. And I said it before, I feel like it's a bit of a proving ground. Like video game movies for a long time have been kind of a trash by default. Like that's just where it like kind of starts. And we're seeing recently a more uptick in higher quality stuff. And if this is a hit, it could be a new dawn for the video game prestige project.
Oh, yeah.
The video game prestige movie and TV show. And it is being worked on by Craig Mazin of Chernobyl fame and Neil Druckmann, the guy who wrote the story for the games. So it could also be a nice proving ground for video games just becoming like the new source material default for movies and TV shows, which you figure they would have to be eventually because video games are such an enormous marketplace and bring in so much money that like the stories being told there, I think probably are the future because that's going to be like the thing you license that already has a built-in audience and then you make a thing off it. The trick is we just need for someone to actually make a good one.
Yeah. And you can tell like even this past week, like sales for PS5 have been insane. Like there's been an over demand, more people are requesting than they can supply right now, which is insane because people are so, invested in these video games, invested in these stories, and especially also, Last of Us. What's that?
Also, I mean, home without stuff to do.
So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. And so, Last of Us is just one of those really great, heartfelt stories, especially the relationship between Joel and Ellie. The characterization, in the second one was a little off. The story was a little off, so I wouldn't jump to see that one adapted. But I would kind of be interested to see how they do this one.
Well, I mean, the second one has a lot of debate around it, right? About people who think it's brilliant and others who are tearing it down. And I haven't actually played the second one, so I can't weigh in effectively. But it seems to kind of divide along the lines of, I mean, generally speaking, the people who that the bad reaction to it is kind of a bit of a right-leaning backlash kind of thing.
That was at first. That was the first reaction, where it was those people who were like, a woman in the lead, having, LGBTQ characters and all that stuff. I don't know, well, the internet freaks out over that stuff. Those right-leaning people. But as actual normal people played the game, they were able to suss out the problematic stuff. There is some fundamentally kind of, not great storytelling elements and character elements. I think YouTube, I watched Nakey Jakey, YouTuber. He had I think almost an hour-long dissection of it, where it's actually, not blah, 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 yelling at a keyboard, but actually dissecting the game and pointing out what's wrong. So, that's a whole nother issue about, that game and how they decided to handle Ellie as an adult and all that stuff. But for sure, the first one was great. And that's the good part.
As I'm sure though, I mean, there are others who loved it, like Donkey loved it. There are others who were behind it. I think it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have no idea if they're going to adapt that. The point is, video game show coming, prestige, could be very good, could be very important. Would you watch, Mia? Do you have any?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's got my seal of approval.
I know that it's not going to happen, but I still think a few years ago, anyway, that Nikolai Coster-Waldau as Jaime Lannister would have made a great Joel, and Maisie Williams a great Ellie. Because come on, it's older kind of grizzled dude and younger spitfire of a person. Maybe a little too old now for Maisie Williams, but whatever. I'm just going to put it out there anyway. Because hey, and HBO already has their number.
Exactly. You'll never know. Oops. Avoiding the earthquake. You're all good.
Closer and closer to disaster, but not there yet. Okay, and finally, there's been some pretty interesting superhero news coming around. Quite a lot of stuff in the world of DC and Marvel. Okay, first up, I got to say this. I think a lot of us expected something like this to happen, but to actually have it confirmed was fairly big. Warner Bros. Has caved. They are putting out Wonder Woman 1984 on direct to HBO Max and releasing it in theaters on December 25th, Christmas. Mia, your reaction?
Yeah, not surprised for sure. I think I was more surprised to see that they were going to have a theatrical release as well.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because at this point, it's nothing else is or will be showing to my knowledge, or nothing huge. Are theaters even going to be open in the first place?
Probably not.
And unless, it's one of those, hey, rent out this theater with your friends and family for $100, which, to be honest, if you just buy the tickets, no one else is going to show up anyway. So you just save the money and, you probably assume that you're going to be the only person there.
Right.
But yeah, I would probably lean myself more towards just watching it on HBO Max. They're not doing a premium. Yeah, for free. So I was like, I think,
for free. With a subscription.
Well, right. Well, yeah, compared to Mulan, where you had to pay the premium for some Disney reason.
That failed. Bad idea.
But yeah, I'm gonna lean, towards HBO Max, having to plug in my laptop old style into the HDMI port because there's no Roku app, and HBO is gonna make me work to watch this movie. But yeah, that's my response.
They are now on Amazon Fire, and apparently they're close on Roku. So maybe if they're there by Christmas,
they've got a month.
This could be really good for them, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get on that stuff and they release a big superhero tentpole by Christmas, it could be a nice little boost, and they kind of need it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the theatrical release, too. I mean, I think that the streaming release was all but inevitable, especially after Disney did it. Like, there are these other studios like Warner Bros. Who are kind of like holding out and like, it'll be fine by then. We'll just lay it one more time. We got to do this. But it looks more and more like they were just fighting the inevitable. I mean, the longer this goes on, the more inevitable it seems that we're all going to be watching these big movies in our homes.
Yeah.
Although I agree, the theater exclusive is weird. I mean, they said that they wanted to do it to like support theaters, which I get is a noble sentiment, but I don't think many folk are going to go see it anyway. So I don't think that'll really help. And also, I'm not sure they should go see it anyway, even if they have the option. It might not be a great idea. So it's a halfway compromise, and I bet the next thing they release, assuming that we haven't licked this by the first few months of next year, like fingers crossed, might just go straight to streaming.
Yeah, I think that I'm really starting to lean towards now everyone dropping all their movies on streaming. And I feel like we need to give, we recover, and then we need time for the movie theaters and all these to recover as well. Because we've seen with Tenet and we've seen with like the New Mutants that people are not just going to drop everything to go to the theater at this rate. That's not going to happen.
Tenet did pretty well overall around the world, I think. But then around the world, things are spiking. So
but still, it was an underwhelming box office performance. So it's like, is it worth getting a cut of the money, and trying to be content with that, or should you just drop it all on streaming, kind of wait for the economy and for movie theaters to recover, and now it's safe to go back and have a full house and things like that.
I mean, you got to wonder if they're thinking about this kind of thing, because now that a vaccine seems pretty close-ish, right? I know they haven't like rolled it out or done all the tests. Or anything,
but inside,
it's close. So I mean, Lord willing, maybe by this time in like 4 or 5 months, things are like leveled off, and they can actually start releasing things again.
Yeah,
and not be a menace to public health while they do it. just a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's like I'm really wondering. I feel like this is kind of like,
but it's fine. It's fine.
We have editing. We can edit this out. No, I feel like this is kind of like the ball is now in Disney's court with Black Widow, because that movie, oh my goodness, been waiting for so long, and now lots of backed up movies in the pipeline for Marvel as well. So it's like I've been waiting for several months to see this movie. Like, please just let me have it, Disney. Stop being so vain. Just let me have it.
I think what I'm guessing is that like Black Widow must have something in it that like leads to another movie that they can't release yet or something. It's my guess, because like otherwise I would have released it already, Yeah,
the next movie to come out is Eternals. After Black Widow, which should have come out this year, I think around this time. And I don't know what to think. I just want to see Black Widow. No more delayed gratification. That threshold is past, it's over, and it's gone.
Another Marvel movie that's going to come. Black Widow might not be for a bit, but we now know they are officially making Deadpool 3 at Marvel Studios, with Ryan Reynolds back in the role of the lovable, cheerfully vulgar and violent Mark with the Mouth, Deadpool himself. Written by Bob's Burger scribes Lizzie and Wendy Molyneux. So I guess, were you surprised? Are you excited? And is it going to be different? Like, it's one thing for Disney to say, we want to give you the full Deadpool experience, all the gore and viscera and cursing and what they can even handle. And another thing that when it actually gets like run through the Disney marketing department, they're like, yeah, we can't have that many dead babies on screen in a Disney picture. We just don't allow it.
That's a good one. I think that for Deadpool, this is the one that they sounded like they're going to commit to, keeping it R-rated. Again, I wonder how many F-bombs they're going to drop and stuff like that, because I feel like this is going to be the property now where they introduce, you know, they can have some characters do cameos in the way they did it with the original X-Men, or, you know, when they were with the X-Men. And yeah, it's like, do we want Spider-Man, you know, precious Tom Holland around someone who's going to drop an F-bomb? Oh no. So that's going to be fun. But what is going to be really fun, though, is now that it's, you know, within Marvel Studios, there's going to be a whole lot of fourth wall breaking. You know, I'm expecting a lot of Disney, Fox jokes. You know, where's the old Wolverine?
Yes,
this movie really writes itself. Like the Bob's Burgers writers really don't have a hard job doing this movie. But it'll be fun because this, to my knowledge, would be kind of the first instance of the X-Men or like X-Men properties now being in the MCU, and not like, you know, Wanda and Pietro, you know, being fake mutants. Like this is like this is the real deal. So that's really exciting.
Okay, like my inner comic book nerd has to come out here for a second and to say I've never understood, like, Deadpool is not part of the X-Men, is he? I didn't think he was. Like, he's not a mutant. He's like an experiment or something. I don't know, but I never associated him with the X-Men, and then at some point people started saying like he's an X-Man, but like no, he isn't.
I don't know the deep history as well, aside from like X-Force that he made in the second movie, and it's kind of got its own history. But I think it was because he was sold off to Fox anyway that they just grouped him in there. And again, I could be wrong as well, but because he was a part of the Fox family, it was just kind of like a nice little tie-in for sure.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I am curious to see if, despite what they say, Disney will muddle with it a bit and clean it up a little bit and not let it be as hard. And it'll be hard to like integrate him into the wider Marvel stuff because he is so sort of his own style onto himself. But Feige has done some amazing things before, so I'm sure he could probably pull it off.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, Feige's a huge comic book person. I've said he's, you know, consulted on the very first X-Men movie. So he knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing. And it should be a good, fun movie.
And finally, in also Marvel news, Black Panther 2, the sequel to Black Panther, is going to shoot in July, I think, according to, you know, it's the Hollywood Reporter or the Rep, one of those. So they're going ahead with it. Yeah. Obviously, that's complicated because Chadwick Boseman, the star of the original, passed. And like the rumor of a rumor that wasn't as solid as that July thing was that Letitia Wright would be given a bigger role. What do you think of this? Is it time to go forward? Should they have just let the project maybe die without Boseman, or are they doing the right thing in sort of reorienting and pushing forward?
Yeah, I think I'm in support of it moving forward. And that's kind of, you know, and I don't want to come from a place of insensitivity either, but that's kind of the goodness about comic books, is we always have, you know, heroes will die, but, you know, there's that turnover. Even if a hero doesn't die, you know, someone else will assume the moniker or something like that. So it is very nicely written in. I think that Black Panther meant so much to so many people, especially in the Black community, that it's like, I think we all still want a Black Panther too. And there's ways to honor Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther while also, like, I think people would go absolutely wild to know that, you know, Letitia Wright would take over as the Black Panther. And to me, it's an honorable thing. It really is kind of like this passing down, you know, of something great to another person. So I have full, you know, faith that she would like be an awesome, you know, we would get a female Black Panther, which that is, you know, obviously really, really cool as well. So there are sensitive ways to handle this. I don't, you know, you can say maybe it's all about money and stuff like that, but I think Black Panther specifically has been like so far past just about making money at this point that we kind of do need, you know, a new hero to step up and to say it's going to be okay and everything.
I mean, I feel like people are mostly reacting very, very well to it. Although it is a really like a minefield, right? Because there are wrong steps you could take. Like there's that rumor about they're going to have a CGI Chadwick Boseman. And obviously people didn't like that. Like that was too far. But having Letitia Wright step into the role, people are into that. So it's just a matter of like, what's the other wrong step you could take? And like off the path in either direction is going to be bad. But if you just choose the good middle path, I'm sure that it'll be a success.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like, and we've seen this with Paul Walker and, Fast and Furious. Yeah, Carrie Underwood, not Carrie Underwood, Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher, No Country Stars here, coming up in 2 Star Wars movies, just, using old recycled footage. And yeah, it's interesting how they handle those things. I think fans were open to Leia because her story wasn't over just yet, and having her come back in that regard. So yeah, it is really a really fine line to walk on. And yeah, one misstep and it could be, very insensitive or all these other things.
So far, they seem to be towing the line pretty well.
Yeah.
But as we know, like on the internet, if that can change with the next bit of news. So it'll be a tightrope walk, but hopefully one they'll walk well.
Yeah. And Ryan Coogler too, directing, and I'm assuming writing, if not all, some of the script. These are people who knew Chadwick Boseman. They were very close to him. I'm sure even talking to his family, like they're not just going to make a movie and be like, oh, hey, this is completely, we're done and moving on. So I do think it's going to be handled with care. I don't think they're just going to haphazardly throw something together. So I do have a lot of faith in that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I hope everything goes smoothly. And hopefully we'll be able to start seeing some Marvel stuff in the not too distant future after being deprived of it for the entirety of 2020. Have a little Marvel detox there. Maybe we'll love it all the more when it comes back.
Maybe so. I am like really, I'm almost tapped out. I'm like, I need my Marvel fix, man. Where is it?
January 15th is WandaVision, I think, right? So the first one.
Counting down.
And that's like a nice 6 episodes too. I like that. I like that they're going to have like, a good get in, get out series, and probably not like a repeated thing either. Yeah. Anything you're looking forward to watching or that you have planned to watch over the Thanksgiving holiday?
I don't know. It's such a short little break that I feel like the days are going to go by so fast anyway. I'm reading a book based on the Miles Morales video game. I'm going to have a review up on Culturist, so hopefully I can finish that up. It's a quick read, but it's pretty nice so far as like a nice little companion novel.
Very nice. I'm finally getting into the Great British Bake Off, which isn't sci-fi, but is magically delicious.
Oh, I know a lot of people love that.
I know. It is very popular. I found the cave. It's good to like put on in the background while you're doing other things.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about all we got for you this week. And everyone out there listening, have a great holiday. Or if you're overseas, have a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be back next week live. This one was pre-recorded if you hadn't gathered, because we were going to be off Wednesday afternoon for the holiday. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Winners Point Facebook page. Hope to see you there. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye.